I'll ask a small question, right? What exactly do you think is the difference between employability and education? So I'm educated, but I'm unemployed. So there are a lot of educated people in this world who are still unemployed. So what's the difference, do you think? Where exactly, why is this happening? That a lot of management professionals are still unemployed and the job market is not able to absorb. Any ideas on that? Anybody would like to share your views? I'm all ears.
Hi, sir. Sir, I think there will be skill difference. People get a degree but do not get a skill for the job and employment. Sir, I think that is the
Great answer. I mean, great answer. That is the answer I was actually looking at. Right. So first and foremost thing. So let me tell you guys, there is a huge difference between employability and education. Now, for example, you have done your education, but you've studied something which is non-relevant to the industry, or even if you have studied something very relevant to the industry, right, you're not able to present it on the table, right, still you will be unemployed. Even if you are the topper of the class, but you are not able to speak fluently or maybe convince the HR on why exactly the person should hire you for the given role, you will still be unemployed. So there is a huge difference. So employability is a simple thing. So how much relevant is what you have studied as per the industry, and how exactly are you presenting what exactly you have studied, and how relevantly you are presently presenting what you have studied to the person in front of you. So there are two things, as rightly mentioned by, I'm not getting the name, but as rightly mentioned by one of you, that there is a difference between skill and there is a difference between what you have studied, right? So the following presentation will talk about what are the job areas and what are the skills and what kind of education you require to get into that job, right? It's not only about just getting educated. We are all educated. Somebody is at a senior position, somebody is still working at a very junior position. He is not able to climb the ladders even, right? So there is a lot of difference between employability and education. So just getting educated will not make you employable. Try and understand that. There are a lot of educated people out there, right? Having said that, let's this. How many of you have this particular state of mind right now? Can I have a thumbs up? Okay. All right. So first and foremost thing, everybody is confused, and it's okay to be confused. First and foremost, when I was starting my career, I was also confused. It's very open to get confused. So first, not overthink that मैं ऐसा क्यों, right? Just don't get into that thought process, because unless and until you are clear about one thing, that whatever is happening with me is natural and it is a process, right? People go through it, right? You will be okay with that, right? Now, first and foremost thing, you have to ask yourself, right? And I'll tell you, getting confused why exactly it is open, why exactly it is okay. In the coming days, after completing your management education, or even when you are pursuing your management education, you will have this state of mind. A lot of my students studying in TAPMI have this particular state of mind. Why? Because management is a field which is changing every day. So it's not a static field. It's not like, I'm an art student. So it's not like Babar ne India pe attack kiya tha long time back and the date will change. The date will remain the same. Babar attacked India in this particular century, right? We just have to mug it up and put it in the examination hall. But management changes every day, right? Because it changes every day, you are ought to get confused. Even I get confused sometimes, my students get confused, even VPs and AVPs get confused, and that's why companies fail. Right now, everybody would be hearing about what happened to Byju's, right? What is happening to Paytm, right? So, a lot of companies are having a good success and then they flop, right? It is only because of the confusion of these people. So, even VPs, CEOs, CXOs get confused. Now, what exactly you need to do is, you need to be random and volatile. You need to accept the things the way they are. If I'm confused, fair enough. Let's accept first that I'm confused. I don't know what to do, right? So, first and foremost thing, remove your fixed mindset. Apply a growth mindset, and you will be happy as a fresher, right? As a professional, right? So this is one thing which I'll tell you to start with. Second, questions that you have to take care of. किसके लिए job करनी है? Whom are you willing to do your job? Now I'll stop my presentation and this particular thing to rest of you. I wanted to interact with you guys better. करनी है. Whom are you willing to do the job? Anybody, small ears, your parents. How many of you think that you are doing your job for your parents because they have sponsored your education till now? They have been supportive. How many of you are doing your job for your parents? Okay, how many of you are doing your job for money or will be doing your job for money? How many? How many of you really want a lot of money? All right, great. All right, so I'll go back to my presentation. So first and foremost thing, please keep this particular thing very clear in your mind. Whom are you earning for? किसके लिए job करनी है, right? Then क्यों job करनी है? Are you wanting to get just busy? You want to show off, or you want to do a job because you love it, right? And then kaisa job, right? So that's the last question you should come into. First you have to answer whom do you want to do the job for. So the first and foremost thing, you are going to do your job for yourself. Whatever makes you happy. Money makes you happy, do your job for money. Growth makes you happy, do your job for growth. Brand makes you happy, do the job for the brand, right? Choose your decision wisely. Your parents will be happy if you are happy, no matter whatever you are doing, right? So first and foremost thing, do your job because you like it. Kyun job karni hai? Because I love my job, right? Or I am doing my job because I love this profile. I'm doing my job because I love to work with a brand like, say, Tesla. I love to do this job because the pay package is really good, right? Rest all are not important for me. So if you're clear on this particular thing, you will never be unhappy, right? And then let's come back to the question, kaisa job karna hai? And that is what my presentation will talk about. Okay, first and foremost thing, management has these 5 core areas, to be honest, right? Basic 5 core areas. 1, marketing, finance, human resource, operations, and analytics. So these are 5 core areas on which the management career is built on, right? These are 5 pillars, right? I will go one by one to each pillar and explain you what exactly these pillars are and what are the career areas these pillar offers. Okay, let's go on to marketing jobs. Now, I've divided them to make it simple for you guys. I've divided them into 2 different profiles. One is a customer facing role. The other one is a non-customer facing role for a marketing job. Try and understand. Customer facing roles are those in which you will be physically meeting the customer, or you will be at least interacting with the customer directly, email, through phone, or by physical meetings, or through this particular digital interface. So customer facing is very simple. You are meeting the customer. Right now, you guys are my customers. Now, I've divided them to make it simple for you guys. I've divided them into 2 different profiles. One is a customer facing role. The other one is a non-customer facing role for a marketing job. Try and understand. Customer facing roles are those in which you will be physically meeting the customer, or you will be at least interacting with the customer directly, email, through phone, or by physical meetings, or through this particular digital interface. So customer facing is very simple. You are meeting the customer. Right now, you guys are my customers and I'm meeting you. Survi is a part of the admission team that becomes the marketing team for TAPMI. She is meeting you, she's interacting with you. That's customer facing. Then there is a non-customer facing role, which is you're not interacting with customers directly. There is a team interacting with the customer. You're supporting that team, right? So what are the customer facing roles? Sales. You are doing sales, direct, indirect. Every day you're doing sales, right? How many of you have tried to convince your father or mother for something? For example, I want to go out with my friends. I want to go out for a movie. So that's sales. You're pitching it to your father and mother and convincing them, right? Then there is another role called customer relationship management. Now the customer has bought your product. Now you have to ensure the customer stays with you, right? And even if the customer has not bought your product, he has maybe visited your website, you still have to maintain relationship with him. You have to keep in touch with him, right? That's customer relationship management. Second is market research. You want to understand who are your customers, where are they located. आपका product यूपी में ज़्यादा बिकेगा या फिर your product will sell in Karnataka. That depends on the market research. So you will have a lot of consumer research. You will ask your existing customers what are their preferences, what kind of products do they buy. You must be seeing whenever you would be doing a YouTube video watch, there must be some kind of survey that pops up, and they ask you random questions. Sometimes you skip the survey and sometimes you reply. So they are trying to understand you as a customer, right? So this is customer facing. Second, what are the key takeaways in a customer facing role? First, it is more rewarding. पैसा अच्छा मिलता है, right? Incentives मिलते हैं. There's a lot of money in this because it is more challenging. It is target oriented. It involves a lot of traveling. So if you love traveling, you love going around places, go join sales and marketing. That's your area to be, right? Now, what are the skills required? You need to have emotional intelligence. You need to understand, empathize with your customer. You need to be very active in terms of your listening. Unless and until you listen to a customer, you can't respond to him, right? You need to have problem solving skills. You need to be target oriented. Great communication, persuasive presentation. This matters a lot. You need to present in a way so that people love your presentation. They listen to you. Then you should be receptive to feedback. Some customer says that I don't like your product, go to hell, and you slap him on his face. That's not how sales and marketing works. There are customers who will be happy, they will appreciate you. There are customers who will not be happy. Whatever the feedback is, you have to be open to that feedback. You need to be self-aware. What exactly are your skills? How exactly I can sell this mobile? What are my product features, right? And if you have a local language proficiency, that's an addition. So if 5 languages or 4 languages, you are the guy. They will pay you like anything, right? Now, what are non-customer facing roles? Now, there is a thing called inside sales. Now, for example, I'll give you an example for that. So Surabhi is selling this particular mobile to you guys, right? Now she wants to make presentation on this particular mobile, right? She will contact a team that will be really good at making presentation, do some competitive research कि Samsung का मोबाइल क्यों अच्छा है and वो Apple का मोबाइल क्यों अच्छा नहीं है, right? So they will do some great comparison, they will do a lot of research, and they will make a great presentation, and they will send this particular. So these people, inside sales people, are helping the sales people achieve their targets, bring more customers. So these are support team that is helping the sales team, right? Then there is a digital marketing team and brand management team that totally works on online space. I don't need to make you understand what's digital marketing because you guys are more digital than me, right? Then how a product is developed. So for example, today I think that this mobile is obsolete. I need to develop a new mobile in which there will be more features, right? Now I'll put a product development team into place. They will understand. So they will have a lot of data, what the customers really want, and they will try to build up a product like that. So that is a non-customer facing role. And then there's a market insight and intelligence role, which once the market research team gathers the data from the market, they interact with thousands of customers. They give this data to the market insight and intelligence team. They will research on this data, they will study this data, and they will pass it on to the product development team that, okay, this is what the public wants, this is what the people want. Now it's time to develop a new product, right? So that's what market insight and intelligence teams does. What do you require to become a non-facing, customer-facing marketing genius? You need to be creative. Now, you could have understand these are all non-customer-facing role. So you have to be very creative in your thought process. How exactly I can create a new presentation? How exactly I can create a new ad? How many of you remember and what is the best ad that you have actually come across in the recent time? I just wanted to ask you guys, have you remembered any advertisement that you really don't forget? Any ad that really hits you? So I remember one ad. How many of you know that Amul butter girl that is there on the Amul butter packet? Do you remember that? Okay, I'll make it more interesting. Just hold on. Okay, can anybody tell me what is this ad all about? So this ad primarily tells हल्क को भी दर्द होता है, right? और जब होता है तो बैंडेड लगाता है, right? Yes, that even the strongest man can be injured, right? Somebody would have made this particular ad, right? Somebody would have got into their thinking caps and thinking hats, and they would have thought about, let's make an ad that is so appealing that people will think about it for a long time. It will resonate in their mind, right? Now, that thought process itself is marketing, right? That thought process itself. Design team usko design karti hai, right? But that thought process is very important. And that is where marketing comes into. So these are non-customer facing roles. I hope I'm clear now. So that's why you require to be very, very creative in your approach. So you have to be very much data oriented. Again, you have to be very target oriented. This is a non-traveling job. This is a non-traveling job. You don't need to travel. You need to sit and you need to think, right? So people who don't want to travel but still like to like to be a part of marketing, this is the job for you. Skill required, creative, data analysis, futuristic, problem solving, good communication, team player, up to date with marketing in market intelligence and practice. So you should know what is happening in the market. Where is this particular, what is the future of marketing? What is the future of mobiles if you are working for a mobile industry? So you should be very, very futuristic in your approach. Your knowledge should be very much high on what is happening around your industry, right? That's about marketing. So again, I'll repeat, there is a customer facing job, there is a non-customer facing job, right? And these are the skill sets. Now, how many of you are looking at finance as a career? For all the finance geniuses out there who are going to help us make the budget for next 6-7 years, right? This slide is for you guys, right? So I'll just, the way we divided marketing jobs into two divisions, customer facing and non-customer facing. Similarly, finance job is divided into two major parts: research, non-research. Very simple. One is a research-based job wherein you have to sit on two screens of computer or maybe even three screens, and you have to do a lot of research on financial data, right? Financial data gathered from the market, from balance sheet of companies, from various sources. So you have to work on that, right? Now, what are the and non-research jobs in which you don't have to manage a lot of data? You have to meet customers and advise them on investments, on banking products and services, on various offers that your organization has for them, right? So let's talk about research job first. First job is financial research. Now, financial research is very simple. Your job is to research on the market, which company is doing how, whether the stocks are going up, they're going down, which company is going to grow in the next 10 years, which company is going to fall. And all this you will be doing based on the past data of the company, the past balance sheets, and a research done on that particular industry. So for example, electric vehicle industry is the next big thing. So there are a lot of companies. Tata Motors is into electric vehicles. So you are going to, so if you are a financial research guy, I can tell you, if I'm your boss, I may tell you, okay, your job is to do financial research on electronic vehicle industry and get back to me with the details so that I can tell the customers where to invest, right? If there is a company, for example, if there is a company, if there is a bank, Swiss bank tells you, I have a company which is an electronic vehicle company and they want a loan, right? They want around 100 CR, 100 crore loan to establish a power plant in India. Now, Swiss bank will come to your research firm, say for example Deloitte, and tells you, give me a research on electronic vehicle industry in India, right? Now your job is to do a research on various electronic vehicle companies in India, look at their balance sheets, especially this company which is asking for a loan. You have to look at their balance sheets, their data, their financial stability, and then accordingly you will suggest them, okay, this is a good deal to invest, right? That's financial research. Similarly, the analysis that goes into that research, understanding data, studying balance sheets, using various tools, That is a job of financial analytics, right? It involves a lot of data, right? So you will be trained on various data tools and sets, and that's how financial analytics is coming into picture. The second is credit research and appraisal. Credit research is very simple. I want a loan. I go to a bank, say that I want a home loan. This is my salary slip, this is my income tax returns, and these are my documents. Can you give me a loan of 10 lakhs? The bank will take all my data, all my documents, give it to a credit research guy like you, and tell you, okay, find out whether how much we can give it to this guy, right? So you'll do a lot of study on that, and they will tell 10 lakhs to nahi de sakte, we can offer him 8 lakhs, right? So that's the job of credit research person or credit appraisal person. Now, what is this job? This job involves a sitting job. This is not a traveling job. There is a night shift openness required in this job because most of your clients are US and UK based clients, right? So you will be required to work in night shifts. Mostly the jobs is with MNCs, involves loads of data. So if you are somebody who is not a mathematical student, who does not love accounting, who is not loving handling data देखते ही आपको there will be at least 5 Excel sheets in which you will be working at the same time. So this is not your field, right? Now, if you are not a data person and you still want to be in finance, non-research jobs are your field. So this involves selling bank products and services like home loans. Now you are not doing you are going to do the sales part of financial job. You are going to sell demat accounts. You are going to sell mutual funds. You are going to sell savings account, current accounts, credit cards. Whatever bank has to offer, you are going to sell. That also requires a good amount of financial knowledge, right? Plus the new sector, fintech, you're going to sell a lot of fintech products, right? So it involves a non-research job. You have to sell and convince people to buy your product. Because it is financial product, that's why finance knowledge is required. Now, what is required for this job? You have to travel in the city across the country. You have to deal with high net worth individuals. That's the full form of HNIs. High net worth individuals are Amir people who have loads and loads of money. So you have to manage their money, right? That's what high net worth individuals are. So you have to deal with them. This is also a very challenging and a high paying job, right? And it is target oriented. So what are the skills required? Good with mathematics and accounting, relationship and account management. You need to be really good at your relationship because you are managing people's money. If you're not good at it, people will not trust with you with their money. You have to be really good with your relationship. They should trust. इसको अगर मैंने 1 करोड़ रुपए दिए तो ज़्यादा दे, right? They have to be up to date with financial market knowledge. Unless and until about overall financial market, where exactly what was the budget all about, which industry is growing, why will I trust you with my money, right? And you have to be tech friendly because fintech is growing, everything is on online, UPI and everything, so you have to be tech friendly for this job, right? Okay, coming down to the next one, human resource, right? Now everybody knows what human resource is. जब मैं 12th में था, I only knew one thing about human resource. These people take interviews and give offer letters. That's not entirely true, but yes, that's the part of their job. Again, human resource is divided into 2 parts, research and non-research. Research jobs, human resource jobs are very research oriented as well. You have to do a lot of organizational research. किस तरह के लोग मुझे hire करने हैं, right? मेरी company कहाँ invest कर रही है? So, a lot of human resource people do a lot of research. Where exactly my organization is going? What are the new areas that we are venturing into? For example, Tesla ventured into cars. It was not supposed to venture into that. Now they are growing there. So now if they are into the car segment, right, and into the new car segment, new aged car segment, into robotics and a lot of things, they need to find people who can work with them. So they have to be futuristic in their approach. So that's why they have to do a lot of organizational research, which involves a lot of HR analytics. What kind of skill sets are going to be required in the future? What kind of skill sets I have been hiring in the past, right? And where exactly we are going? What kind of money we need? How exactly salaries are increasing? Which are the employees that I need to retain and which are the employees I need to let go, right? What are the new technologies that are coming into HR? So a lot of HR analytics is required. Finally, HR consulting based on the data that you have got of your past employees, of your future employees, and of your current employees. You will do consulting to the organization because this is the kind of manpower you need to hire, right? This is the kind of CEO you need to have. So again, it involves a sitting job. Night shift openness here is also required because you will be doing HR. So there are companies who do HR consulting for other companies based on in US and UK. So they give the job to these expert firms, जो सिर्फ यही करती हैं, right? So they study a lot of organizational data and do consulting. So this also requires a lot of night shift job. Mostly with anyone, again the same thing involves loads of data. You need to be very good with analytical skills, and you should know how to handle data analytic tools like Power BI, Python, and all those things. Understand human resource management services tools, right? So there are various HRMS tools. You'll study that once you go for HR specialization. So this is the research part of it. Finally, the non-research part of it. Talent acquisition. Go out there, fetch talent, hunt it, right? So these people that you see, they go out there and with smiling faces tell you, join our organization, we are the best place to work. These are talent acquisition folks. A lot of traveling required. Learning and development. You will be training people, right? After you have hired them, that this is the job that you are required to do. So there is a learning and development department overall in HR. Then HRBP is human resource business processes. That means there are businesses in a company. There is a sales department, there is a finance department, there is X department, there is Y department. Every department has an HR. Nowadays, organizations are functioning like that, right? So then there is a requirement for business HRs. They will be only managing a small team and they will be the whole and soul for that, right? And then finally, HR consulting is on non-research as well. There is a non-research part for HR consulting as well, which requires you to travel, which requires you to meet people, consult them, tell them what is wrong with their HR processes. So again, traveling within the city, across the country, lot of people and sales skills required. You need to be you need to have a sales approach here. That's why people will look at you and say that, okay, this guy is really presentable and I think his organization I should join. You need to convince people to join your organization. A lot of sales skills required here. Good job, challenging and rewarding, target oriented. You should be good with people management, relationship and account management, again up to date with latest HR tools, and you need to be tech friendly. There are a lot of apps these days. Every company has an app, and most of these apps are because they want to engage their employees better through apps. So you need to be very tech friendly here as well, right? Coming to the last and final slide, operation and analytics. So operations and supply chain is one part, and then IT and analytics. So operation and supply chain, there is a thing called supply chain management. You will learn about it. I'll not go into detail. So whatever thing that you are seeing in a store, so you go to a store, big bazaar, जो भी सामान वहाँ रखे हुए हैं, they have come from they have come down from their factory to that store, right? This entire process of taking a product from the factory to the store or to a baniya shop is supply chain, right? So this entire operation, so that the product is picked from the factory and put up on the store, there's a lot of process that goes into picture. That's supply chain management. Then there is logistic, lot of logistics involved. There are products who come by plane, there are a lot of products who come by train, there are a lot of products who use the road channel. So a lot of logistics required. Then you have to do a lot of research how exactly you can save costs so that मेरा product factory से मेरे पास भी आ जाए और मेरा पैसा भी कम से कम, right? That's where operations research and analytics is done. Warehouse management, there are warehouses wherein your products are kept, and then from that warehouse it goes to the retail outlet. That's where retail store management comes into picture. So these are various part of operations and supply chain. Involves a lot of people management, क्योंकि एक product को factory से उठाकर to bring it to the retail outlet, lot of people are required, right? There's a chain of people. You need to be very people friendly. Traveling is required here. Tech know-how and working conditions. Sorry for my spelling, tough की spelling गलत हो गई. So working conditions are really, really tough, right? Because you need to interact with a lot of people and you need to travel and you need to go to warehouse. And mind you, your factories will be at a rural area, right? And plus, your product can also go to a rural area. So you might have to travel to a rural area as well. But this is an exciting job, pays a lot, right? Very few people are able to crack such a job. It's very tough, right? Great analytical skills, great with handling data analytical tools, understand how operations is managed, and local language proficiency. As I said, you need to travel a lot, you need to understand, right? Finally, IT and analytics, the next big thing happening in the industry. Then IT and analytics is everywhere. So if you have studied analytics and finance, you can become a financial analyst. You can go into financial analysis. If you have studied marketing and analytics, you can go into marketing analytics. If you have studied HR and analytics, you can go to HR. If you have studied operations analytics, you can go into operations research. Business analysis, if you have studied strategy and analytics, you can go into business analysis. So analytics is a supporting thing in all businesses. So these are your main streams, and analytics helps you to and supports you to do your job much more smoothly, much more better, right? Again, very challenging because there's a lot of data, there is a lot of change happening. So today you study a tool, tomorrow it becomes irrelevant. अब बोलेंगे ये जो आप जिस टूल पे काम कर रहे हो ये पुराना हो गया, नया टूल पढ़ के आओ. So if you're not updated, you might lose your job. So this is very, very challenging job. Less selection ratio, as I said, you need to be updated with the latest technology, and that's why the selection ratio is less. A lot of data analysis and management job is available both in MNC and a lot of startups. You need to understand economics, maths, and stats because data management. You need to be aware about business. So you are an analytics guy, you should know finance as well a bit, marketing as well a bit, HR as a bit. So overall business awareness is very much important. Working knowledge of tools and tech, very good in your communication skills because most of the clients you will be interacting will be based out in US and UK. Now, small about BB honors, what we have here is, it is a 4 years program. Why exactly we at TAPMI have included a 4 years program? Because we want to engage students in all these areas so that they become managers right after graduation, right? How exactly we do it is something like this. So you get into your first year, you're taught basics of management, you're taught economics, you're taught anthropology, you're taught culture and context because you understand business from the ground level, right? Then you go to a 6-week social internship with NGOs. So we train you on design thinking. That's the next big thing. So you use this design thinking, work with NGOs, come back, and then in second year, we start training you on general management and basics of Python and advanced Excel. Remember, I told you analytics is everywhere, right? So we train you on Python and advanced Excel, and then you go to an 8-week sales internship. So the past slides talked about you need to be a people person wherever you go, right? So you need to understand sales. You need to interact with people. That's why sales internship becomes very important. We shall send you for a sales internship. You come back, start studying specializations. And these are the specializations that I've mentioned. These are the specializations that you study. And in the third year, you go for a full-fledged 16 weeks. That means 4 months of internship in your specialized area, right? And then you get placed in the fourth year, or you go abroad to study your master's. So that's how we build it after doing a lot of research, what is happening in the industry, right? And that's how the BB Honors program is built. Finally, you join management if you like listening and following business news and personalities. So if you love listening to Steve Jobs, if you love listening to people like Nitin Kamath, the founder, if you love listening to people like Tesla founder, right? Or Mark Zuckerberg. So you love to follow these people on Insta, not because they are rich, because they have knowledge. You listen to their YouTube videos, and that's a suggestion I'll tell you. Go to YouTube, find out speeches done by Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, for that matter, Indra Nooyi, the India CEO for PepsiCo. Then there are a lot of CEOs. Listen, type a YouTube pe jaake you should type the Britannia story. It will tell you how exactly Britannia was built. Type the Amul story. It will tell you in video form It will tell you how exactly Amul was built. So when you watch these videos, if you really like them, if you like to understand how brands are built, management is your field. Number and data fascinate you. They should not scare you. Management is your field. You have the love for money because ultimately management is about making money. Management is your field. Like working in a team with strangers, management is your field. If you're not a team person, don't join us, right? Up for challenges and pressure. It is a pressurized job. It is a challenging job because it's about earning money and bringing profits. So if you're not ready to work for 12 to 18 hours a day, forget about being a manager. Now, what are the don'ts? You like sitting idle and wait for things to happen. Don't join them. You don't like numbers. Don't join. You are not greedy for success and money. Do not join us. Do not join management. You will be a failure. Are you a loner? मुझे अकेला काम करना पसंद, मेरे हाल पे छोड़ दो. Do not join management. Want to work for 9 to 5 shifts? Do not join management. Are you having a fixed mindset? As I told in the first slide of mine, do not join management. We need growth mindset people. And you have a chalta hai attitude. Chalta hai. Failure chalta hai. Management is not your field, right? So these are the do's and don'ts. That's all from my side. Thank you. That's my email address. You can connect with me on email as well. And drop me an email. I'll answer your queries. Overall, I'm still ready to answer your queries. I am open for questions. You can type your questions on the question bar, on the chat board. I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, sir. That was so informative. I'm sure these people are very lucky to have mentors like you. They have an access to people like you and they get so much guidance. And at this point of time, when they're deciding careers, when they're deciding where to go, they have applied to everywhere, literally to every entrance test out there. So I'm sure with your session, they might have got some clarity into the career prospects. So thank you so much. So students, we are now opening the floor for question and answers. So if you have any query related to the career prospects that Abhishek sir has shared, or you want to know about the programs at TAPMI, we would be happy to answer. So you can write your questions on the chat. We'll take up the questions one by one and we would be happy to answer your questions. What to write?
Okay. So first and foremost thing, in an SOP, we focus on two things. One, you need to be very clear about why exactly you want to take management as a career option, right? You should not look confused in your SOP, right? I'm not talking about whether you want to go in marketing, finance, or HR. That's a futuristic thing. I don't want you to write that in your SOP. You should be clear enough why exactly you want to join management. So even if you write that I want to earn a lot of money and that's why I want to join management, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. But you should justify it when we call you for the interview, right? That, okay, you want to earn money. Why exactly you want to earn money? What is so interesting about earning money? So if you justify it, I'm happy with that answer, right? So that's what SOP should talk about, clarity of thoughts, right? So I'll suggest you should, when you're writing an SOP, there is a thing called 5W and 1H approach, right? And 5W and 1 approach is very simple. What is there in me? So the first W stands for what? What is there in me that makes me suitable for management? Why I should join management, right? Where I should join it. So TAPMI, if it is TAPMI is the place, you should mention that why exactly you've chosen TAPMI, right? Then when I should join it. When exactly you took this particular decision of joining management. What exactly inspired you, right? And finally, how? How have you prepared yourself in these days so that you are good enough to join management? So that's 4W and 1H approach, right? Use that. It will help you a lot in building the SOP. That's my number. I have given it to you guys. I love engaging with the students. If you have any doubts, you can ping me on WhatsApp as well. I might take some time to respond, but I will definitely respond, right? Please mention your name and the city that you belong to, right? I'll be more than happy to engage and solve your queries as well. Yeah. So it was talking about both, though I mentioned BBA honors in specific because I am taking care of BBA honors, and BBA honors focuses on jobs right after graduation, right? And IPM has a longer gestation period, so it takes you to the PG level. But overall, whatever I shared today was an overview of management as a career option. So it even applies to MBA folks. It's not only for just BBAs. Right. So I think we should call it an end, Surbhi.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining in. Thank you, students. So you can reach out to us. Sir has also shared his number. So if you have any query while deciding on the career that you should choose right now, feel free to reach him out. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.